In this video, we are going to create an application that will generate an image for us using the AI technology. So we have to pass some text here and add the size of the image we want to generate, and after that we can generate it. So let's try. Let's say a line coding on laptop wearing a cap, and after that just select the size of it and click on this generate button. Okay, so we got our image here, which is AI generated, that a lion is coding on a laptop wearing a cap. After that, you can also download it and share this image with your friends on Facebook or Messenger or any other application, and after downloading it, it will be saved in your My Arts folder and you can access it later also. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and press that bell icon so you will be notified whenever a new video is uploaded. So watch this video till the end so you will have no issue implementing it. So let's get started. Okay, so here is our project in my VS Code running on my real device. So in this project we have a folder named assets, in which there are these three files, in which the one is a loader and the two are forms. After that we have registered them in our assets section and also the forms section in our pubspec.yaml file. And in the lib folder we have these three files. So in the colors.dart we have these three colors which we are going to use in this application. And in this main.dart we have a main method, and after that we are using a stateless widget which is my app, and we are returning a material app with these properties, and also we are using a theme property to set the font family to Poppins, which is our custom font, and also changing the scaffold background color to our custom color. And after that we are setting our app bar to change the background color to transparent and also change the elevation to 0. So after that, in the home property we have our home screen, which is a stateful widget, and here we are just returning a scaffold. So let's start. So first of all we have to add an app bar here. So I will just remove the constant and add app bar, which will be an app bar with a title with a text period. So that will be AI image generator, and now we have to style it. So text style, and the font family we are using here is our Poppins bold, which is our custom font family. As you can see here, this is our Poppins bold. Okay, so after that we have to change the color to white color, the white color which is also defined in our colors.dart file. Okay, so after that just save it, and this is our app bar. Now we have to make it in center. For that I will just change the center title to true and just save it. Okay, so after that we have to change a property as resize to a white bottom in set to false. Okay, now our app bar is completed, and now we have to add a body here. So in the body we will use a column, and let's wrap this column with a padding widget so we can add some space around. And after, in the children, I will just divide the screen into two parts and change the color of this container to colors.red, and the other one will be colors.amber. Okay, so here in the red part we will show our text form field, a drop down and a button to generate. And in the yellow part we will show our image. So let's just increase the flex of our second expanded, which is our yellow. So just change it to 4. Now in our red container let's add a child as column, and after that children, and for the first children of this column we will use a row, and in this row we will use two things, which is our text form field and a drop down. So first let's design this text form field. So input decoration and hint text will be EG, and we can say monkey on moon. Okay, so this is a hint. After that let's remove the border. So border will be input border dot none, so there will be no border. Now we have to make this expanded, so just wrap this text form field into an expanded widget, and after that wrap this expanded into a container so we can decorate it. So box decoration, and the background color of this text form field will be, let's say, white color, and the border radius will be border radius dot circular, and we will add 8 here, sorry, 12 here. Okay, so after that we have to add some padding. So the padding will be h inset start symmetrical, so horizontally it will be 16 and vertically it will be 4. And let's just restart it once. Okay, so we are getting an error here. So to fix this, let me just cut all this decoration of our container and remove it, and after that wrap this text form field with a container and paste this inside. Okay, now the error is removed. Okay, so after that our one widget is done. Let's add some height to this. So height will be 40. Okay, so let's add a second widget to this row, which will be our drop down button. So before that, let's add some size box with a width of 12. And now let's create some variables so we can use in our drop down. So one will be var and sizes, which will be small, medium, and large. So these are the three sizes, and now we have to add the values of these, so that will also be a list. And in here for the small size we will add 256 into 256, and for the medium we will add 512 into 512, and for the large image we will add 1024 into 1024, and just save it. After that we have to create a string which will be nullable, which will be our drop value, so we can store the selected value in this. Okay, so after that let's come to this part, that after this expanded and this size box, let's use a container here, and I will just use the same properties as I used for the decoration of this text form field. So okay, just copy them and paste it here, and in the child property I will use drop down hide underline, and in here for the child I will use a drop down button, and for them we have to first provide a items, so that will be a list, and for the on change we have to say select the value and then perform some action. Okay, so here is our drop down, so let's just edit it. So for the value will be our drop value, and hint will be text widget with our, let's say, select size. Okay, so after that let's just increase the height of our text form field container to 44, and also set the height of our drop down to 44, and also add some padding. So h inset start symmetrical, so horizontally it will be 8 and vertically it will be 2. Okay, so both are done. Now if we can change the icon also, so icon will be icon, and icon start expand more. So what kind of icon is this? Okay, so just use it, save. Okay, now the icon is also changed, and let's change the color to our button color, which is our custom color. Okay, so after that we have to add the items in it. For that I will just use a list.generate, in which we have to provide the length. It will be sizes.length, and for after that we have to set drop down menu item. Drop down menu item, where is the drop down menu item, and in here we have to say, let's say use a text widget here, and in here sizes according to index, and after that we have to provide the value. So the value will be according to the values index, and just save. Okay, so there is no error, and if we click on it, we can see all these three values that we inserted. Okay, so after that we have to add a button. So let's copy this size box, and after this row, which is our first child in a column, I will just paste it and change it to height, or we can simply remove this and use a elevated button here. So on press will be empty, and for the text for the child I will use a text with the generate. Save it. So this is our button. Let's design it. So size box, and in here we will add a width of, let's say 300, and a height of 44. Okay, so let's just change the color and shape of our elevated button. So style, so elevated button dot style from, and the background color will be button color, and the shape will be stadium border, and just save. Okay, so let's add some space between these two. For that, just go to the column and change the main axis alignment to main axis alignment space around. It will add the space. Okay, perfect. So after that we can remove this container. Okay, so now our first section is completed, and now we have to work on our yellow section, which is in which we will display the image. So for that we have to send a request to the API. Let's just add a package here. Before that, go to Android app build.gradle, and in here you have to set the target SDK to 33, which is the latest, and minimum SDK variant to 21. And after that you also have to change the compiled SDK variant to 33, and after that you can save it and close it. Now just add a package, which is Ctrl+Shift+P, and here add dependency and type HTTP. It will download this package and add it to your pubspec.yaml file, and then you can use it. Now to get the API, we have to go to a website which is openai.com, and in here you have to click on this API button, and after that you have to either log in or sign up. So if you don't have any account, you have to sign up, otherwise you can log in. After that, this is your dashboard, and in here you have to click on your profile and go to your view API keys. And in here you have to click on this create new secret key, which will generate an API key for you that you will use in your application. One thing to remember, that while creating this, just copy the API key at the same time, otherwise you won't be able to see it again. As you can see, I created one and now I can't access it. So while creating, just copy it and use in your project. So after copy, go to your project, and in here create a file and name it API key and dot, and in here create a variable const API key, and in here paste your API key. So I will just paste mine and close this file, as I can't show you, so you will have to create your own. Okay, so after that, let's also use the on-chain property of our drop down. So that will be set state, and in here we have to change the drop value is equal to value.toString, and just save it. Okay, so after that we can access our API. So let's create a file here, which is our API services, dot, and in here we will create a class named API, and in here we will create a static final, and it will be our URL is equal to URI.parse, and in here we have to paste the base URL on which we will send our request. So that is https://api.openai.com/v1/images/generations. So this is the link, just remember it and type it carefully. And after that we have to create a method so we can send this request. So static, and it will be generate image, and it will be an async method. So in here we have to first import our http package. So http, let's import it, http as http, and now here let's create a variable named our response request, and it will be await http.post, and in here we have to pass three things. The first is URL, which is already here, and after that we have to pass the header and also the body section. So let's create a header here, so that will also be a static final and headers, and it is a map. So in here we have to pass according to the key and values, so that will be content type, and in here we have to say application JSON, and after that we have to pass the authorization, and in here we have to say bearer, and after that $sign and your API variable, the one we created in this API key.dart file. Okay, so after that we can paste this headers here, and now we have to pass the body. So for the body we will just use our, let's say, JSON in code, and in here we will pass a map. So let me just format it so you can see properly. So in this map we have to pass three things. The first is prompt, which is the text we will send to the API, and after that we have to pass the n, which is the number of files we want to generate, and after that we will have to pass the size, which is the size we will select from here. So let's just create some parameters here. So string text and string our size. Okay, so for the size we will paste our size variable, and for the prompt we will use our text variable. Just save it. So this is our body. So after sending this request we have to check if the request.status code is equal to 200, then var data is equal to JSON decode, as we are getting the response back. So it will be rest.body.toString, and after that just print it so we can see what we got. So if this is not the case, means there is some issue with the request. So I will just print it and say failed to fetch image, and just save. Okay, so our backend is done, means the method is done. So in the home screen, let's create a text controller. Var text controller is equal to text editing controller, and assign this controller to your text form field. So text controller. So on the press of this generate button, where is this? Okay, so here is the generate button. So we have to check, let's say, if the drop value is equal to null, then it will be null, means we can't use this method. Else let's make it async, and here we have to create a variable. Let's create a string and image. It will be like this. Okay, so when we generate this button, we have to wait. So image is equal to await API dot generate image, and in here we have to pass the text controller dot text and also the drop value dot, and after that we have to pass the null check. Save it. So let's also add another check that if the text controller dot text dot is not empty and the drop value dot is not empty, and also add a check here. So only then we want to do this thing. Save it. Else we will show a snack bar. So for that I will use a scaffold messenger dot of context dot and say show snack bar, and in it a snack bar with a text widget that will say please enter the text and select size, or instead of this enter we will say please pass the text, the query and size. Okay, so as the value is this, let's remove this condition from here as we are already doing this thing in our method. Okay, so this is our button, so let's just restart it once. Okay, so let's type something here, a monkey on moon, and now we have to select the size. So the size will be small and click on this generate button. So along with this error we also got the response back, means our request is sent and we got this created, and this is a map in which there is a data field and which is a list, and in here we have a map. So let's just filter it. So here instead of printing this, let's say return our data, and in here it will be data 0, and in here it will be our URL. Just save it. So if we just click on this URL and see what we got, select the browser, okay, so the image is loading and there is a monkey on moon. So we successfully generated an AI image. So let's just close this, and in here there is an error with the image. Let's also just convert this return dot to string. Okay, now there will be no issue. Okay, so we got the image. Now we have to display this image. For that I will just create a variable. So it will be a bar is loaded and it will be false. So in here we have to remove this container from here and add our condition so that if is loaded then show the image dot network, and from the image URL, else show our image dot asset with the assets slash loader dot gif. So this is our load. Let's just wrap it with a column and also wrap this column with a container so we can decorate it. So for the decoration it will be decoration box decoration, and in here let's add the border radius, which will be border radius dot circular 12, and after that the color will be our white color, and just save it. Let's change the alignment to alignment dot center, and after that change the main axis alignment. So main axis alignment will also be center of this column, and after that add a text. So in here let's say waiting for image to be generated. let's style it. So text style, and in here change the font size to 16.0. Save it. Okay, let's add some space. So I will use a size box with a height of 12 and just save it. So if the loader is false, this will be our UI, and if the loader is true, we have to change it. So if when the image is loaded in the set state, we have to say is loaded is equal to true. And if we click on this again, we have to change it to set state and change the is loaded to false again, so we can display this image again when we are generating a new image. Okay, so everything is done. Let's just restart it once again. Okay, so let's just type something that a fish in bowl gaming. Select the size, it will be small, and after that click on this generate button. So here is our image, fish in the bowl, but there is no gaming thing. Okay, no problem. Okay, so we got our image here. Let's just style it. So wrap it in a container and let's make the corners rounded. For that, decoration, box decoration, and border radius starts circular 12, and also change the clip behavior to clip.anti-alias, so it will make the corners rounded. So also change the fit to box fit.cover. So instead of this cover, let's change it to contain and just save it. So here is our image. Let's wrap this container into a column so we can show our buttons. Okay, so change the main axis alignment to center, and I will just use a row here, children, and in here I will just use an expanded widget with the elevated button. On press will be empty, and text child will be a text widget with download. So okay, save it. So this is our button. Let's style it. So style text, elevated button, elevated button dot style from, and the padding will be h insets dot all. From all side it will be 8, and let's change the background color to button color, and also change, no, there is no need to change the shape. Okay, let's add an icon with it. So icon, and icon property, icon, and icon start download will be download rounded, and after that we have to change the child to label. Okay, so we got our download button, and after that in this row, after this expanded widget, I will just copy this size box and paste it and change the height to width, and use the same thing, which is this elevated button dot icon, and just paste it again and change the label to share, and also change the icon to share. Where are you? Share. Okay, so this is our download button and this is our share button. So on the press of it, we will share it with everyone, and on the press of it, we will download it. So let's add our art gallery here. So in the app bar, let's use the icons property, and in here paste the elevated button dot icon and change it to, let's say, gallery if there is any. No, change it to image, or Don't use any icon, just use a text widget for the child, and in here let's say my arts, and just save it. Okay, so here is our button. Now we have to add some padding around it, so I will just wrap it with a padding. Okay, so on the click of it, we will go to our art gallery, and on the click of this we will download it, and on the click of it this we will share this image with our friends on Facebook, WhatsApp or any application. So one thing remaining, expanded widget. Let's add a text widget here with a footer. So developed by Java tabs, and change the style to text style, and also change the color. So the color will be white color and the size will be 14.0. Okay, so everything is done, I guess. Let's add some padding around it. Okay, so now the UI is completed. So let's restart it again. Okay, so this is our UI when the image is not fetched. Let's fetch one. So it will be underwater spaceship battle, and just select the size. It will be small. You can also select medium or large, but the issue here is if I select the medium, it will download a large file. So I will just go with the small. So small, and click on this generate. So it is waiting for image to be generated. So here is our spaceship underwater, and it is going to do some fight with this other spaceship. So I hope you liked this video. In the next one we will add the functionality of downloading and sharing, and we will also add our artboard. So if we click on this download button, we can show this in our artboard also, so we can access it later. So if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and press that bell icon so you will be notified whenever a new video is uploaded. See you in the next one. Till that, Allah Hafiz.